So in this video, I'd really like to stress the importance of putting yourself out there in life in order to live your life, in order to grow and experience and to get what you want out of life. Because if there's anything I've learned personally, it's that sitting around in your comfort zone at home and just avoiding the world isn't gonna get you anywhere at all. Anywhere. It's the main one of the main reasons why you're so lethargic and really just not feeling life is because you're not putting yourself out there. It honestly happens a bit too much in society lately where we just isolate ourselves. And I get it, people are crazy, the world is crazy, there's all sorts of nonsense going on, and it's pretty scary sometimes. But you really have to get out there. You have to take action on your passion. And your passion lies outside of your bubble, outside of your comfort zone, outside of just sitting around at home and being on social media or watching movies or playing video games or whatever the hell else. Like that's just something to do when you're chilling. Not really like it's not really quite part of your excitement unless, I don't know, maybe you're like someone who streams or something for people playing video games or whatever have you. Even then, it's like really like, is this what you really want to be doing? Is this what you really could be doing? So today, I went out and I did that. I used the Meetup app, which is a great app for finding things to go do that are in alignment with your excitements. And I found a cool spiritual networking group to go hang out with. And it was great. It was fun. It was amazing. Met some cool people, had a good time. And I really learned a lot about myself again, as always happens when I do this, where I go and I put myself out there and I step outside of my comfort zone and do something a little bit differently than what I usually do, which is just kind of spending time at home. But, it's in those social group settings, especially with people that you do not know, that you're brand new to. Because, what I found with myself personally is that I'm sitting here, like, still just kind of holding on to old ways of being, things I don't prefer to be, which is like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, am I sitting correctly? Do I look weird? Is my posture, am I too hunched over and therefore I look unconfident and awkward and strange and like, oh, did I do this? And am I being this? And I'm being blah. And it's just like all this self-judgment, self-deprecation in a negative sense where you're just really holding on to things that other people are not looking at. They're not analyzing you that specifically. And even if they sort of are analyzing you in that kind of a way, at least in my personal experience, because I am someone who is hyper aware of what's going on with everybody, I'm not like sitting there judging it. I'm not being like, oh, that person is so terribly insecure and therefore they're a lesser person and oh, ha 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 to them. No, I'm just like, I'm sitting there. If anything, I'm seeing a reflection of myself and I'm like, oh, like maybe they're kind of nervous. Maybe they're this, maybe they're that. And then I still love them anyways. I'm still here for them. If anything, I want to help them open up and be more of themselves. So, like, that's the vibe of a real human right there. Like someone who's accepting and loving. And if they're not doing that, then they are projecting their own self-judgment. If they're judging you, that's just them judging themselves, and you don't need that. It's immediately irrelevant. It's so irrelevant. It's as irrelevant as if someone came up and said, I don't like your third arm. You having 3 arms? That's a bother to me. And you need to change. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? That's so entirely irrelevant because I have 2 arms, not 3. That doesn't make sense on any level whatsoever. That's how irrelevant someone's judgment of you is. So it's like, it's funny that we sit there and we're like, oh, I might be judged. I might be looked at as strange if I'm not doing this, if I'm not doing that, if I'm sitting weird. It really holds you back from opening up and being yourself. It really does. And I noticed that tonight with this interaction that I had. Because, of like what I just described, and also because I I did feel like I was holding myself back just a little bit. I used to maybe consider myself a bit of a, I don't know, a wallflower or something, or someone who just deeply did not fit in. Even in groups like that, with people that I agree with on many things in life and, philosophies and all that kind of stuff, there's still that old negative belief system whispering in my ear, you don't belong, you're different than everyone else in a negative way, in a way that you don't get along, in a way that you're unlike them, in a way that you're not going to belong, you're not going to be accepted fully. Everyone else is having a better time than you. Everyone else is getting more along with each other, and you're just kind of there. And that's not true. That's not true. Absolutely not. I know I'm a great, beautiful person, and I know I can get along with people, and I know that my energy is beautiful and expansive. But the thing was, what was true is I was holding myself back a little bit, and it's only more clear to me now than in the moment of it happening. But I realized, I mean, that's the point of life, though, is that you live it, you go out, you do things, and you realize, oh, I would like to do this differently. I prefer to be this way, because the contrast of how you don't prefer to be clarifies much more how you do prefer to be. The mistakes and the errors are lessons, as long as you choose to learn from them instead of embodying them and being like, oh, this is just me. I'm just an introvert. I'm just not social. I'm just not good enough. I'm just weird. I'm just unacceptable. No, don't accept that stuff. That's not true. I don't honestly believe that being an introvert is a real thing. I'm going to be fucking real with you. I'm going to be completely real with you right here, right now. Being an introvert is not a thing. It's not real. It's a social anxiety disguising itself so that you don't look at it and actually be yourself. Now, is there different levels of social exposure? Yeah. So you don't need to be always around people. You don't need to be talking to every person you ever see in your life. You don't need to always be hanging out and always be socializing and be the social butterfly and be the life of the party. You don't need to be that. But being an introvert, that's an illusion. It's a lie. It's not real. It's a lie whispered into your ear by a negative belief system that doesn't want you to look at it, doesn't want you to let go of it. Because that's the thing with, as I say, always, with belief systems, their job is to perpetuate themselves. And with the negative ones, when they realize that you're kind of close to letting them go, they do everything in their power to get you to believe in them. That includes lying to you. That includes manifesting things in your physical, external reality to get you to continue to buy into that negative belief. But I learned, I was like, oh, what I did is I kind of just sat there and I responded well. I did talk to people. I let them talk to me and I responded and I socialized. But what I learned personally is I would like to initiate conversation more. I would like to talk to people more and to be interested in them more and to be able to engage and initiate and hold and reinforce more conversation, because I'll notice that it'll kind of dissipate, and then there's and this is natural sometimes, of course. It's not like it always has to continue forever. Conversations do dissipate, but I'll notice that it'll dissipate quite often, and then I'm just sitting there like and it's like some sort of anxiety pops up where it's like, oh, I gotta say something, or I gotta do something, or I gotta be interesting, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. And then it's just that mental mind pattern, that cycle of nonsense that keeps me from being naturally and present in the moment. And that's where, the inclination and the ability and the wherewithal to keep the vibe going comes from, is by being present. not being in your head, not thinking, what do I say? How do I act? How do I be? Just by being in the moment. Because that's the thing, is you don't generate thoughts. You don't come up with ideas. Anything you've ever thought in your entire life, any idea, anything that's ever been in your head, is something you've received. Something that's come to you, like a radio frequency. And so that's how you get more of them, is by being in the present, by clearing your mind, not to the point where you're just like, completely zenned out meditating in the middle of a social interaction, but where you're just present. You're just here in the moment. And then you naturally find those moments, those questions, those instinct to talk and, be with people. That's how it happens. So the thing is if you're out here like fearing social interaction or being out in whatever, that's a good thing. It's good. As I've said before, triggers, fear, anxiety, all those things and everything in between and everything related, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a positive, wonderful, welcoming, amazing thing, because it's part of your excitement to find out what doesn't work for you and how you don't prefer to be, because it provides more clarity on how you do prefer to be, as long as you let go of it instead of identifying with it. That's the key, really. So, I really would recommend, and this is something that I'm assigning myself personally as, honestly, homework for the rest of my life, is to just talk to people. It doesn't have to be every person. There are situations where you don't necessarily need to talk, but to just talk to people, to anybody and everybody as you go out in life, and to go out in life more. Don't just isolate yourself and sit around at home, because I can tell you from personal experience that that's not it. It's not it, bro. Like, it just ain't it. Like, I used to personally sit there and isolate myself and play video games all the time and do all sorts of other things. I'm getting to the point where it's just not fun. It's not fun. And it's something I used to do, so it's kind of like the go-to, the default. And then I'm like, what am I doing with my life? This is like... And I used to view social interactions as kind of, in a sense, bothersome. Sort of. Like, obviously, I had friends and I had good interactions and whatnot. Have and still have, of course. But I used to be like, oh, I could be at home playing a game right now. Or I could be at home chilling and relaxing. And I could be doing whatever I want to do instead of here. And it's just always that, like, I need to get out of here. I need to get home. I need, and that's just a greater representation of social anxiety, because it's just like, I don't feel comfortable here. I don't feel safe enough to be myself, to express myself, to relax. I need to be home in order to relax, in order to chill out, But you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to. There's a time and a place to sit at home and to rot like a vegetable and to watch Netflix or movies or play video games or whatever else, There's a time and a place for that, absolutely. It's not all about grinding and doing things, but to spend most all of your free time doing that simply is not the way. And that's what I'd like to really convey in this video, is put yourself out there. Find something you like to do. Me personally, what I did is I put into a notes app, I listed everything I love to do. And then, you can go and you can intend to search and look for people who like to do those things and, meet up with them. Do it. Experience life. Live it. Life is out there. Your comfort zone is what kills you. It really does. You're not going to get where you want in life by sitting around and crossing your fingers and wishing and hoping while you just kind of like offer nothing to the world. Because, it is about offering yourself, offering your true self to people. That's what it's about. That's all that it's about. So anyways, that's pretty much all I got for you. As always, thank you so much for watching.